What is meant by conservation of energy? This is just like the conservation of the momentum. Conservation means that remains constant. There is no change. Just like the conservation of the momentum, we say that the total momentum of the system remains constant. Just like that, here in the conservation of energy, we can simply say that the total energy of the system remains constant. There is no change in the energy of the system. You can see its statement. The energy cannot be destroyed or created, but it can be transferred from one form into another. I suppose here that there is a ball that is placed at some height from the ground level. This is the height of the ball from the ground. When the ball is placed at maximum height, at this position, this ball has only gravitational potential energy. I represent it with the GPE, means that gravitational potential energy, and I represent the kinetic energy with K dot E. So, as the ball is placed at the maximum height, it has only gravitational potential energy. Now I suppose that the ball is moving towards the ground. Then what will happen? The gravitational potential energy of this ball decreases because here is the decrease of height. The height of the ball is decreasing, due to which the gravitational potential energy decreases. I suppose that at the maximum height, the gravitational potential energy is 5 joule. When this ball is moving down, then the gravitational potential energy is decreasing. I suppose that here it is 3 joule. Where the 2 joule of the energy goes? It means that when the ball is moving down, there is the transfer of the energy. In which form there is the gravitational potential energy transfer? This is basically the kinetic energy. Because the ball is moving, there is a kinetic energy. During whole of this journey, the total energy is the sum of kinetic energy plus gravitational potential energy. But when the ball hits the ground, at this point, as the height is 0, so that the gravitational potential energy is also equals to 0. All of the gravitational potential energy is changes into kinetic energy. Here the kinetic energy would be maximum. So you can see here, initially when the ball is at maximum height, here only there is gravitational potential energy which is 5 joule. Here the kinetic energy is 0 because the ball is not moving. So the total energy is the sum of kinetic energy plus gravitational potential energy, that comes to be 5 joule. This is the total energy at the maximum height. During the path at this point, I suppose that the gravitational potential energy is 3 joule. At that moment, the kinetic energy would be 2 joule, so that the total energy is again 5 joule. Now when the ball hits the ground, all of the energy is kinetic energy, gravitational potential energy is 0. As the total energy is 5 joule, it means that kinetic energy here is equals to 5 joule. The total energy remains constant, but the energy is transferred from one form into another. This is basically the law of conservation of energy. You can also see the statement here. The energy cannot be created or destroyed. You cannot create or destroy the energy, but it can be transferred from one form into another. The energy is transferred from one form into another, but the total energy remains the same. After that, the total amount of energy in a closed system is constant. Constant means that remains same, that does not change. The same thing is here. At each position, the total energy is 5 joule. It's not changing. So this example basically shows the conservation of the energy, that the total energy of the system remains conserved. There is the transfer of energy from one form into another, but the total energy at each position is constant. Here is the examination tips. While applying the concept of conservation of the energy, sometimes in the question it is not mentioned which energy transfer take place. So sometimes in the question it's not mentioned that which kind of the energy transfer take place. That's why in such type of question you have to guess that either the energy is kinetic energy, potential energy or internal energy. For example, in the previous example, when the ball is dropped from some height, here there is a transfer of gravitational potential energy into kinetic energy. But if we talk about the springs, which kind of the transfer take place in the spring? So the spring transfer basically the elastic potential energy, because in the spring there is the elastic energy stored. So the elastic potential energy of the spring is converted into the kinetic energy. The same thing is given here. While applying the concept of the conservation of the energy, sometimes in the question it is not mentioned which energy transfer take place. That's why you need to guess it according to the given situation. For example, first of all, here is a spring. It transfers its elastic potential energy into the kinetic energy. And when the stone is dropped from the roof of the building, means that from some height, there is a change of gravitational potential energy into the kinetic energy and vice versa. So I can simply say that when the stone is dropped from some height, then the gravitational potential energy is changes into kinetic energy. Here you can see that there is a simulation that is related with the energy conservation. Let's open this. You can see here there is a wire that is moving on this path, and here there is a chart which is showing the energy, means that EP is the potential energy and EK is the kinetic energy. EF is the energy that is lost due to friction, but here we are actually ignoring the friction. Then all of the potential energy is converted into the kinetic energy. First of all, see the position of this Y. When he is at maximum height, all of the energy is basically the potential energy. But when it's going towards the ground, potential energy is converted into the kinetic energy, but the total energy remains the constant, which is 100%. Now see the position of this Y, it's at the ground. All of the energy is kinetic energy. That's why the red bar is completely until 100%. When he is moving towards the height, then there is the loss of kinetic energy and potential energy is increasing. So that's why there is a transfer from kinetic energy into potential energy. When he reaches at some height, there is a sum of both potential energy and kinetic energy. But at the maximum height, all of the energy would be the potential energy. Kinetic energy at the maximum height would be zero. You can observe this by yourself as well. Now let's consider I'm also counting the friction, then what will happen? First of all, I stop this. Count the friction. Now I will start it. See that when the Y starts from the maximum height, at this point there is total potential energy. There is no other form of the energy. When he is moving towards the ground, there is some transfer of the energy from potential energy into kinetic energy. But when again he tries to go at the maximum height, he cannot reach at the maximum height. It is because of the reason here we consider the friction. Frictional actually reduces the height of that object. So you can see here he cannot attain the maximum height and return back. I can simply say that when you count the friction, you cannot get the potential energy 100% even at the maximum height, because the Y is unable to reach at the maximum height. But the total energy, you can see here it remains a constant. No, there is the extra bar which showing the energy that is lost due to the friction. So in this way, the total energy is conserved, which is shown by the black bar. But the energy is transferred into different forms. Next is again the simulation that is related with the energy conservation. Let's open this also. First of all, I open the intro. Here you can see that there is a girl that I suppose that I bring it at the maximum height. Then which transfer of the energy take place? First of all, I place here the pie chart. You can see the pie chart here, the transfer of the energy take place. Here on the side you can see the blue is showing the potential energy, the green is showing the kinetic energy, and the red is showing the thermal energy. Here when she moves, there is only the transfer of the energy from kinetic to potential and potential to kinetic. You can also check the speed. At the maximum height, her speed is 0. When she goes towards the ground, then the speed is maximum. You can check here as well the conversion of kinetic energy and potential energy. Here is also the bar chart. Check this bar chart. The total energy is conserved even if it's transferred from kinetic energy into potential energy and potential energy into kinetic energy. Let's consider the other path. This one. At the maximum height, there is only the potential energy. When this girl comes at the ground, here all of the energy is kinetic, but the total energy remains the same. In the last one case, I again place her here at the maximum height. See, the potential energy decreases and kinetic energy increases. There is a conversion of both of these energy, but the total energy remains same. You can also check the other as well. Here in the second one, they count the friction. When there is a friction, then what will happen? I suppose that here I place the bar chart. No, first of all, she is at maximum height. Here, as there is a friction, some amount of the energy is lost as a thermal energy. So let's start this. She is moving downward. When she reaches at the bottom, she has kinetic energy. No, she cannot even reach at the maximum height because here is also the thermal energy. Due to the friction, some energy is lost into the thermal energy. But the total energy always remains constant. There is no change in the total energy. You can practice this as well. Here is the exam question that appeared in October-November 2016. A pendulum bob swings along the path WXYZ and back again. Resistive forces can be ignored. It means that there is no loss of the thermal energy. All of the energy changes from kinetic to potential or potential to kinetic because it's a pendulum system. Here when the ball of the pendulum moves, then there is kinetic energy, but when the ball is at maximum height, there is only the potential energy. Which statement describes the total energy of the bob? Option A, it has a maximum value at x. B, it has a maximum value at y. C, it has a maximum value at z. D, it has the same value at w, x, y and z. First of all, you can easily guess that this question is related with the conservation of the energy because here all the statements is related with the total energy and different conditions are given. So here the energy has to remain conserved. I suppose that the maximum height that this bob can take here is represented by the W position. Now if this position is at maximum height, here there is only gravitational potential energy. The kinetic energy would be equals to 0. At the position X, as it's the main position, which is at the ground. So here all of the energy is kinetic energy. The gravitational potential energy would be equals to 0. But at the position Y, the total energy is the sum of kinetic energy plus gravitational potential energy because the total energy has to remain conserved. Again at the position C, it is on the other side, but its correspondence with the W position. So I can simply say at this position at the maximum height, all of the energy is gravitational potential energy. Kinetic energy would be equals to 0. So when you check all of these, the total energy is always constant at each position. If I suppose here the kinetic energy is 0 at W, but the potential energy is 5 joule. At the position X, the kinetic energy is, I suppose that it's 5 joule, but the potential energy is 0. At the position Y, I say that the kinetic energy is 2 joule and the gravitational potential energy is 3 joule. At the position Z, I suppose that the gravitational potential energy is 5 joule, kinetic energy is 0. So when you check at all of these positions, the total energy always equals to 5 joule. So I can simply say that here the total energy is 5 joule at each position. So the total energy remains same. Let's see the answer and explanation for that. Here you can see at the position W, at the extreme position the potential energy is maximum and the kinetic energy is 0. X is the mean position. At this position the kinetic energy is maximum and the potential energy is 0. At every position the pendulum bob carries the constant energy. Energy get interchanged with each other, but the total energy always remains constant. It means that the total energy at each position is the same. That's why the correct answer is D. Let's go back and see the answer again. In the answer D, it's given that the total energy remains same at W, X, Y and Z. It means that correct answer is D from here because the total energy remains constant according to the law of conservation of the energy. Next is the Sankey diagram. What is the Sankey diagram and how we can use it? So Sankey diagram is basically the diagram which represents the transfer of the energy. How much energy transfer takes place from one store into another is represented by this diagram. First of all, here is the diagram which showing the transfer of the energy. Here I suppose that the total energy of the system is 100 joule. Then what will happen? Some amount of this energy is converted into useful output energy, means that when you have to do some work, some energy is transferred into the useful output energy, but small portion of this energy is transferred in the form of wasted energy. So actually here the arrows are showing the transfer of the energy, means from which store the energy take place into which. First of all, I consider the first arrow which shows that the total energy is transferred into the useful output energy. What does this mean? This direction, that is the arrowhead, it shows the direction of the transfer of the energy. But the width of this arrow shows the amount of energy, like how much energy is transferred here. So I suppose that the total input energy is 100 joule. The width of this arrow is larger, so I suppose that here 70 joule of the energy is transferred as a form of output energy and remaining 30 joule of the energy is wasted here. This wasted energy might be in the form of thermal energy or the heat energy. So such diagrams are basically called as a Sankey diagram, which shows that how much of the input energy is converted into the useful energy and the wasted energy. So you can also see from here, the Sankey diagram is used to represent the transfer of energy. This diagram is used to show the transfer of the energy. In this diagram, the arrow shows the transfer of the energy, means that the arrowhead shows in which store the energy is transferred. The width of each arrow corresponds to how much energy is going to each store. So how much energy transfer take place is basically represented by the width of this arrow. Therefore, when we have to apply here the conservation of the energy, the total energy is 100 joule. It is converted into 70 joule plus 30 joule. So I simply write here 100 is equals to 70 plus 30. So that on both sides you get 100 is equals to 100, means that the energy remains conserved. But this 100 is basically the total input energy. I can simply say that input energy, which is the total input energy, it would be equals to 70 joule. This is the useful output energy. So I write here the useful output energy, which is useful, plus 30 joule is the wasted energy. plus 30 joule is the wasted energy. So here is wasted energy. This equation I write by the conservation of the energy. You can also see from here the total energy input. It is equals to the useful energy output plus the wasted energy. This equation I write according to the law of conservation of the energy. So how you can explain the Sankey diagrams? You can simply say that these are the diagrams that are used to show the transfer of the energy. The arrowhead shows that in which kind the transfer of the energy take place, and the width of this arrow represents that how much energy is transferred. And after that you have to apply here the conservation of the energy so that the total energy remain conserved. For this diagram, according to the law of conservation of the energy, the total input energy is equals to the total useful output energy plus the wasted energy. Here is an example of the Sankey diagram, which is for the petrol engine. So here we also have to apply the law of conservation of the energy. Here when the burning of the petrol in the car basically stores the chemical energy, and when the petrol burns, the chemical energy is converted into some other form such as the kinetic energy, and some energy is lost into the environment as a wasted energy or the thermal energy. So you can see here the chemical energy that is stored in the petrol is, I suppose, that is 120 joule. Then what will happen? Small amount of this input energy is used to moving the car, which is in the form of kinetic energy. So you can see here the kinetic energy of the car is 50 joule and wasted energy is 70 joule. So I can simply say that the petrol engine, when the car runs, the chemical energy is converted into the kinetic energy and the wasted energy. Kinetic energy is basically related with the motion of the car, while the wasted energy is the energy that is lost into the environment as a thermal energy. So the chemical energy in the petrol, it is utilized in kinetic energy of the car, means that when the car moves and some amount of this energy is wasted as a thermal energy into the environment. So I suppose that first of all the chemical energy is 120 joule. Then some amount of this energy is used in the kinetic energy. I suppose that in the kinetic energy 50 joule of energy is utilized. And after the remaining amount is wasted into the form of thermal energy, which is 70 joule. You can also apply here the law of conservation of energy, according to which 120 joule is equals to 50 joule plus 70 joule. It means that chemical energy is equals to kinetic energy plus wasted energy. This is basically the Sankey diagram for the petrol engine. You can also guess by the width of this arrow. The width of the arrow for the kinetic energy is smaller. It means that the small amount of the chemical energy is converted into kinetic energy. But here the width of the arrow for the wasted energy is basically larger as compared to the arrow of the kinetic energy. It means that more of the chemical energy is wasted into the environment. That's why the wasted energy is 70 joule and the kinetic energy is 50 joule. You can also see from here, the law of conservation of the energy applies to any process such as the burning petrol in a car. Chemical energy of the petrol is converted into the kinetic energy, and some amount of this energy is wasted as a heat into the environment. So some of the chemical energy is converted into the kinetic energy, and also some energy is wasted into the environment as a thermal energy or heat energy. For example, if you suppose that the chemical energy is 120 joule, for every 120 joule of the chemical energy, only 50 joule of the energy is converted into the kinetic energy, while the 70 joule of the energy is wasted in the form of heat energy into the surrounding. Here is an exam question that appeared in May-June 2017. The diagram represents the energy transferred for a device. The device is 50% efficient. Which equation is correct? So first of all, here you can see that it's a Sankey diagram which showing that the input energy is converted into the useful output energy and the wasted output energy. So let's see the answers. Answer A, input energy is equals to useful output energy divided by 2. B, useful output energy is equals to wasted output energy divided by 2. C, wasted output energy is equals to the useful output energy. D, wasted output energy is equals to useful output energy divided by 2. So basically, the term which is given here, efficient, it is the efficiency of any device. Efficiency of any device is basically how much of the input energy is converted into the useful output energy. Like how much useful energy you can obtain from any device is called its efficiency. Let's see the answer and explanation for that. There is a formula of the efficiency. If I suppose that efficiency is E, it is equals to the useful energy output divided by total input energy. And when there is percentage efficiency, multiply it with 100%. So the efficiency is converted into percent. Then it's given that the efficiency is 50%. Just put here E is equals to 50%, which is 50 over 100. You get 1 over 2. So simply write here 1 over 2 is equals to useful energy output divided by input energy. You can see here, here I did the same. So at the end, this equation tell you when you cross multiply this one, like here I can simply write, input energy is equals to 2 times useful energy output. So here 1 is multiplied with input energy and the 2 is multiplied with the useful energy. You get that useful energy output multiplied by 2 is equals to the input energy. So what does this mean? That the total input energy is equals to the useful output energy multiplied by 2. If I consider the previous one equation, like here if I write the useful output energy is equals to input energy divided by 2. It means that the total useful output energy is half of the input energy. If half of the input energy is converted into the useful output energy, where the half energy goes, then it would of course be wasted energy, that is wasted into the environment. So I can simply say that here if the half of the input energy is converted into the useful output energy, then the half of the remaining energy is the wasted energy. So that if I suppose that here the useful output energy is 50, then of course the wasted energy would be equals to 50 joule. Both of these has to be equal. The same thing is given here. When you make the useful output energy as a subject, you get that the useful output energy is basically half of the total input energy. It means that half of the input energy is converted into the wasted energy, so that the total wasted output energy is equals to the useful output energy. That's why answer C is correct from here. Let's go back and see the answers again. In the answer C, you can see here the wasted output energy is equals to the useful output energy. So the useful energy and wasted energy, both of these are equal because half of the input energy is converted into the useful output energy and half of its amount is converted into the wasted energy. So answer C is correct from here. You will also learn about the efficiency in the next topic. But this question is basically related with the Sankey diagram, so I have to explain the efficiency here a bit.